Hey, hi. Okay, so I'm going to be talking to you about a very important topic called women in networking. And in fact, I told you that I'd be making this video after having asked you this question. And I did this actually in my hub. And what is my hub? It's called the Women's Self-Reliance Hub. I'm the founder of the hub in my Facebook page. So if you're not part of it, please click the link below and become a part of it. Okay. So getting into the topic, okay, one of the questions that I had asked in the hub was, do you think women are better networkers than men? If you think so, yes, then type in yes. If you feel no, you say no. And if you say, if you're not sure, I said maybe there were a combination of answers that came in. Few of them felt no, few of them felt yes, few of them felt it's not gender specific, it's to do with one's personality. And it was interesting sort of conversations that have came up, and I thank each and every one of them who responded to that question of mine. Now, let me actually share with you of what one of the CEOs mentioned about networking in general as a skill. What she mentioned, she's Nancy Ham, CEO of WebPT, who said that of all the lessons I learned early in my career, the ability to network strategically stands out as one of the most important. Having said this, let me give you certain data points. Okay? Although women are typically seen as social than men overall, according to the 2018 Women in the Workplace report by Leaning and McKinsey, women actually network less than men. And when they do network, they are comfortable networking more to other women rather than men. And I see this as a significant problem, especially for women themselves, or anyone in general. If they are getting into leadership positions, whether man or women, networking definitely becomes an important aspect in life. People ask various questions. Is networking good? Is networking bad? Are we just trying to impress people through networking, or won't just people look at our performance and we will be seen? Definitely one of the aspects of getting visible in organizations or developing those perceptions, be it positive and better it be positive, is through networking, right? So why not we look at how can we make networking meaningful for us instead of questioning whether it is good, whether it is bad, can't only performance be seen? Because the reality is that networking is definitely one of the biggest skills that one needs to learn to build themselves up, whether man or woman, in a company, industry, or in life in general, right? So what we the data definitely is pointing out is that there is a gap in terms of women actually networking less than men, and as I said, when they feel more comfortable with women other than men, right? So what is preventing women from successfully networking? So according to the study by Sage Publishing, that is the Journal of Human Relations, there were three important aspects that was researched and found. One was the self-imposed barriers, including gendered modesty. The second one was a tendency to undersell their value, and the third one was strengths and reluctance to leverage. Okay. So what are the benefits of networking? Can we look at networking as a return of investment rather than, as I said earlier, looking at why can't they look at my performance and give me what I want, rather than, why should I network? The thing is, when there are thousands of people that are there, people who go out there and make themselves visible, it's easier to sort of understand and analyze and rate them, as opposed to people who are not seen at all. So the responsibility is on us. So if we talk about the benefits of networking, it is good sort of to make it intentional in the way you network with people. One of my bosses in one of the previous organizations would actually tell me, whom should I meet, why should I meet, what are the benefits, if you do this, what will you gain in the long run? So if this kind of a plan is given to any individual, whether in life you will need to make this plan yourself. But if you are in an organization, it's okay to seek for help and ask your boss, okay, whom should you meet? What are the benefits of meeting this person? why should you meet, and what else, can come out of the whole discussion. So it can be made an intentional and a meaningful discussion. So rather than just socializing, which we are anyway good at, and that is a positive skill that we have as women, use the socializing skill to, sort of break those barriers, and then make the whole networking, skill intentional. That is, you deliberately network. So when done right, in fact, networking lets women identify role models, find mentors and sponsors, and expand their business opportunities. One of the reasons why I'm trying to highlight this particular point is, as women move into the leadership level, one of the things that they lack, and one of the reasons why women leave organizations and there are not too many women at the leadership level, is because there aren't too many women coaches, or there aren't mentors or coaches that they can look up to. But if you start doing this intentionally and make that kind of a network for yourself, then as you move up the ladder, you will have that support and or a coach or a mentor for you to guide you and help you, especially during tough times. And of course, as to what are the next steps that you can take, right? So I want to tell you about certain tips. Are you ready? Here are several actionable tips to help jumpstart your networking game. The first tip, guys, is make it a priority. We need to get this. Networking can be tedious, it can be awkward. But the study actually by Adler Group and LinkedIn put together has said that 85% of the jobs are filled through networking, which means that actively, if it is done and intentionally, ultimately it is only going to benefit us. So let us look at it in that angle. Second thing is, share the wealth with your network. See, finally, by mentoring people, through coaching and through mentoring, I'm building my own network, and they will actually come, help me when it is needed in the long run. Okay, and there is a Harvard Business Review study that showed that men are less likely to recommend women to various board positions simply because those women don't have enough female connections. And you can develop those female connections by through your own mentoring network that you have developed had in the past. So mentoring has allowed, coaching has allowed me to help women achieve top leadership positions, and a goal that is more attainable if they are encouraged to intentionally network, right? So to end this cycle, I use my coaching role to get more people involved in networking. Tip number 3 is turn negatives into opportunities. There is this inherent feeling or fear of saying something stupid, and women have this more when compared to men, that what if I say something stupid when I'm networking? And what I've realized is, no one in the room or during a webinar is a webinar nowadays, right? Given the COVID situation, no one is an expert on every subject. So it's okay to go out there, and even if you say something stupid, if you build the trust, you will be forgiven. But what is more essential is that you need to keep in your mind that a person who's more knowledgeable than you are, I have found that when someone knows more or has a better subject knowledge of a particular thing, I have the opportunity to learn something new and engage with that person in a more meaningful way by asking questions. And that's the way, even, it would not be considered stupid, which women tend to have this feeling, right? Now, the fourth tip is determine your objectives very clearly. Intentional networking. 1, have an agenda. 2, know why you are attending and whom are you going to be talking to. And 3, what are you going to talk about, and formulate a plan. So this becomes intentional. This becomes meaningful for you. And most important, when the meeting gets over, when a conference gets over, when a webinar gets over, it's always good to follow up in the next 24 hours, either through a phone call or by actually replying to the LinkedIn feed or to the Instagram feed or to the Facebook feed, so that the relationship is built in the long term. The fifth one is expand your comfort zone. There is a study conducted by Forbes Insights. 84% of those polled preferred one-to-one networking. Now, while in the COVID situation, pandemic situation, it may not be possible, but do your one-to-ones online or in person. And it is good to initiate by yourself so that there is this trust that gets built. Saying, okay, this person is interested in talking to me. So, of course, once things settle down in the pandemic, it's always good to meet the person because there are a lot of barriers that will get broken. Ultimately, whatever you do, whatever technical aspects that you follow, if you do not have genuine interest in other people, and if you do not advocate their successes, which is the most important thing, once you start meeting people, it's important also start saying positive things about what they have done or advocating their successes. So knowing how to strategically network is an incredibly powerful career tool, one that no one, women especially, should overlook. So start today. Research 3 meaningful networking events. Get yourself invited and get out there, guys. Yes, it is important. So, and become a part of my Women Self-Reliance Hub. We can start networking there. Okay, and for more, please also attend my masterclasses that happen on Tuesdays, which is a lot to do with brain science, and it gives an understanding of digging into our own selves and seeing how we can handle our emotions, and looking at various aspects, so that will also help you in your networking journey. Because at the end of the day, if you get more and more self-aware, you can also regulate yourself in whatever skill that you need to, whether it is networking or any other skill, right? So take care, and don't forget to press the subscribe button and the bell button to LCSS, like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye. Take care. All the best.